Okay. Department Departmental report. We're going to start with the police report, and we have Lieutenant Thomas.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Looks good.
All right. The month of May or April was fairly quiet, but our biggest issue, and I know you guys are already aware of this, is the e-bike complaints we're getting. In fact, I got 2 more today, and we're getting a lot of them around the schools before and after school. So we're putting our motors there, but it doesn't appear to be enough because we're getting the complaints really at all the schools in the city. So I went to all the briefings last week and talked to patrol about getting them out there during before school and after school to help with the enforcement. Talk to them about the education. We're kind of past the education portion of it and more into the enforcement, just because what we've been doing hasn't really helped with the complaints. So we're continuing the traffic. We will have the bike team, the summer bike team, starting up within a month. That will certainly help. And also, we're creating a neighborhood team, bike team, and we'll also use them to help. They'll be on e-bikes themselves. If that gets approved by city council, then we'll get them out there too. So we're working on it, but that seems to probably be our biggest issue right now is e-bikes throughout the whole city. We had our DUI checkpoint, the OTS checkpoint set for March 23rd, although because of the George Floyd protest at McGee Park, we had to cancel the DUI checkpoint. So we're going to reschedule that for sometime in June. The problem and the reason we canceled it was the DUI checkpoint was set up at Beach and the Boulevard, and that's right at McGee Park where they had the protest. So we canceled it, even though the protest was fairly small. We weren't sure how big it was going to be, and we just decided to cancel the DUI checkpoint. So when we reschedule in June, I'll let you guys know when that's going to be. OTS grant campaigns for the month of April. We have in the month of April, we had the DUI saturation on April 9th. We did pretty well. We had a couple of DUIs that day, and we had patrol and voters work that. April 26th through the 30th was our work zone enforcement. And what we really wanted to do was, with all the construction areas in the city on the roads, we wanted to get the motors patrol, extra patrol in for speeding and whatever other violations we can get. So we hit that pretty hard. Also, April was distracted driving month, and our motors alone did 27 stops. And a good example would be being on their phone or eating or whatever they might be doing while they're driving. But we did 27 stops, wrote 11 citations and 6 warnings. And we had 1 serious injury collision on the 11th of April. Happened at El Camino Real at Costa del Mar. It was a DUI driver who was driving in one direction, made a U-turn on a red light, crossed over the lane, and a motorcycle actually collided with her vehicle. She ended up being arrested for the DUI with injury. The motorcyclist ended up having a fractured leg and a few other injuries, but fortunately, he ended up being okay, given the circumstances and the speed he was actually traveling and hitting the vehicle. We actually have that on video, the whole accident on video from another driver's vehicle cam. So it ended up actually at the end turning out to be okay with the minor injuries, which could have been a lot worse. And that's all we have. We did have a couple more this month, another couple more protests and a few things. I'll talk about that next month. Is there any questions for anybody?
Okay. If you stop presenting, then I can see all the commissioners. I Oh, there you go. Thank you so much, Lieutenant. So really quick before I'm going to go to Commissioner's question, I just want to, I know it's not on the agenda, but I want to talk about e-bikes. So I've been working with Nathan, so the city, and I've been working with the school district. And also, I even brought it up to Assembly member that represents us 76 about e-bike training. We are working on getting the education in schools. And actually, Assembly member agreed that she can pay for some of these trainings that she will send, like the Bike Coalition and some other organizations that we have. She will be able to pay for those to go to the schools. And I did discuss with the district, and the district said that they're going to try to see if we can send them some videos, to educational videos that they can play over their system, 2-3 minutes for about 5 videos, to educate our kids as much as possible, because we are very concerned that before summer, if we don't educate them, the middle schools are the main ones, that we will have a fatality or something dangerous happening. So I haven't yet reached out to the police department directly, but we've been working on that education, and as soon as we can use your support and your patrol really greatly. But I will reach out to you if it comes more to the education part, that we can collaborate. So I just want public to know that, because I know it is a very huge issue right now. And yeah, so with that, do we have other commissioners' comments for Lieutenant? Okay, I see Vice Chair Perez.
Thank you. Lieutenant Thomas, I just have a question. Are you able to go into any information about I think it was the April 20th, the car that went over the Carlsbad Cliff? I think it was on Carlsbad Boulevard.
Yeah, that ended up being a state parks traffic collision. So they actually took the collision. So we weren't too involved in it. So I don't know the circumstances on that. I haven't spoken to state parks to find out what the reason for that was. I know it was an elderly gentleman, but I don't know if anything else was involved, but it was not our collision, it was theirs.
Okay. I guess the question that I just have is there anything that this is not directed towards you, Lieutenant Thomas, but more for the commission. Is there anything that we need to understand in regards to like the car going over, if there's safety rails or anything like that? I'm not sure. If it's jurisdiction for the state parks, then I think it's moot, but.
That's a staff question. Anyone from staff would like to address that?
Seems like it's a state issue, so we'll just leave it at that then.
Well, I mean, the car did leave our public roadway, so we'll try to track down. Oh, will there be a collision report at all, Lieutenant Thomas? I guess not, if it's a state parks thing.
Yes, state parks actually took a collision report on that. And it did end up going through a railing. The guardrail took out part of the guardrail before it traveled through the ice plant and over the side. But state parks actually did take a report on that though.
Okay. I'll note it and follow up with our transportation staff to see if that guardrail needs to be repaired and process behind that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kim.
Okay. Any other commissioners? Commissioner Wanamaker?
Yes, thank you. And thank you, Chair Gokhan, for representing the commission at the recent road opening. Appreciate that very much. For Lieutenant Thomas, it seems that the lights aren't coordinated anymore on Carlsbad Village Drive when there's an emergency, either fire or police. The lights don't change automatically to allow those emergency vehicles to go through. Is that something that's going to be changed, or is that something that just happened on a one-time basis?
They've never changed for the police department. They don't change with our lights. They change only with the fire departments. And as far as I know, they do. If that has changed, I wouldn't know, but they do not change for the police departments and never have.
Well, I've noticed that they don't change. They used to, and it creates a definite traffic hazard. Traffic is very heavy on that section of the village. And we have lots of emergency traffic up and down there from the fire department. And I've noticed that the lights don't change. I don't know who we should contact about that.
Yeah, I don't know if Mr. Kim might know who is responsible, but I haven't heard anything from the fire department complaining that they are not turning for them. And once again, they don't change for us anyway. So I have not heard, and I'm not exactly sure either, but I can certainly look in to find out who is responsible for that. And I can contact the fire department and ask them.
Yeah, and we are in communication with the fire department about the vehicle preemption system. There was a question on the fire department's part, and we're engaged in resolving that question, but it's never come up that the system didn't work. It was more we wanted to change equipment or something like that. So I'll follow up with our signal guys to see if they've had an issue with our emergency responders and the emergency vehicle preemption system.
Okay, great. Thank you, Commissioner Wanamaker. Commissioner Linke?
I also wanted to express thanks to Chair Gokin for her leadership on e-bike safety. I think we all want the kids to know the rules of the road and be safe, and we don't want drivers to get frustrated with them, so that it creates a stigma around e-bikes. So thanks to Chair Gokin and hope you keep doing what you're doing. And just one suggestion would be is if you come to a consensus on some educational materials that maybe it could be distributed through the This Week in Carlsbad mailing list. I read that every week, and or the city manager's update or something to just make it more visible, and appreciate staff's work on that.
Thank you. That's a good idea. If we can share it in any way possible that reaches parents, everyone, right? Because everyone is using the e-bikes. And on that note, I'm really excited because on our last meeting with Assemblywoman that represents our district, about 3 years ago, I suggested if there can be some kind of rebate on e-bikes, because I felt like it's more of a equality in our public. Some people can afford it, some people can't. And she actually going to put in a, I guess, law that she's going to suggest for the states to do a rebate. So now everybody can afford a little bit easier, and e-bike, and hopefully we take more cars off the roads this way. So I'm really excited about that too. So with that said, thank you, Commissioner Linke. Do we have any other comments or questions? Okay, good. Thank you, Lieutenant Thomas, and we look forward to next month.